Hey, Twisted Christian, I want to discuss one of Kim Clement's prophecies and maybe connect it to what's going on in Israel and the oil, and maybe even how it relates to Zion oil and the future. So this is one of the reasons why I'm invested in Zion oil, because I do believe in the future of Israel and how it relates to, if you just look at it from an economic point of view. You're not looking at it spiritually or anything like that. And you see what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on with the oil. And so, and in this prophecy, it talks about Israel supplying oil to other nations. All right, so here it says, and he's talking about changing the economy within a day. All right, it says, I could say that even here, God is going to do the same thing. It's doing well. I mean, Israel is doing great. But there's going to be a massive change. What I'm saying is, then again, I want you to read it to me, and that was that they would literally supply other nations. He's talking about Israel. And they say, how can it be possible from this small piece of land that we are needing them and they are helping us? Okay, let me read it to you again. Now he's talking about Israel. And he says that they would literally supply other nations. And they'll say, how can this be possible from this small piece of land? Okay, so they're going to be supplying those oil resources to other nations around them, whether that's all the way down in Africa or that whole entire region, Asia. So I believe in a way that this is connected to Zion oil setting up. And that's why I tell you, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. But I think for me, this strengthens my commitment to continue to, get as much as I can. Because the prophecy is saying that Israel is going to be supplying other nations with oil. Because even with this new energy source, I don't really know how it's going to affect the oil in this country. I mean, unless this energy source can be used and put in cars immediately or right away or anything like that, I don't know how this energy source is going to be used in a way. And I might have to dig even deeper into Kim Clement's and maybe find out how this energy is going to be used. But regardless of that new energy source, oil is still going to be used all around the world. And not only Israel will be self-sustaining, but they also will be able to supply other nations with oil. And that's why I'm putting myself in that position. Now, there are other oil companies in Israel, right? So you can do your research. You can research all that, and they're, pumping oil and everything else. You see, now Zion Oil is going into land that has not been tapped into before. Right? There's not a whole bunch of other companies within that area. So Zion Oil has put themselves in a position, which is their mission, which is to be able to supply Israel for the future. So that's why I invest. We invest for the short term, and we invest for the long term. So I just like to point that out for those of you who are invested in oil in Israel, and just be patient and wait. This thing with Zion Oil is going to increase. So all we have to do right now is just be patient for the short term and the long term. So guys, tell me what you think about this particular prophecy and about Israel supplying oil to the rest of the Middle East. There's a lot of rumors going around that Saudi Arabia doesn't have as much oil as they say they have, and that's been going around for quite some time. So you might see a change. You might see uncovering of how much oil Saudi Arabia really has down the road. And you don't know what's going to happen with, the whole thing with Iran and all these other countries that are oil producing. Now keep in mind that when the RV does take place, at whatever stage the economy is at, it's going to give it a jump. It's going to give it a boost. So people are going to be buying cars, getting the economy going. So all this oil that we're storing up and all this thing, everything that's going on with the oil markets, all that's going to change. As people are going to start doing things, the economy The economy, like right now, the economy, it's getting back on track, but it needs some jump starts, right? And I believe that an RRV could be one of those things that's going to help get this economy along. So tell me, guys, what you think. And with that being said, Twisted Christian out.